What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And yes, we're going to just be in the garage today, but I'm hopefully going to help you guys out with a little bit of information I found out about the TRXs last time playing in the sand. So the title, I jumped my TRX and I found a massive problem. Was it a jumping issue? Absolutely not. This truck, as you guys saw from that first little kind of clip, this thing jumps amazing. This truck has jumped probably, 30 to 40 plus times in its life. It's been off the ground 30 to 40 plus times, varying degrees of heights, but all very controlled and done in a safe way if you can be doing that jumping a vehicle. No crazy jumping over other cars or over creeks or anything like that. Jumping it kind of like it's supposed to be jumped. Like you saw from that video or the clip there at the beginning, aggressive speed on the takeoff, but then a relatively smooth landing. So the truck has held up great. I, after that, drove it 4.5 hours back home to Wichita, Kansas with no issue. But the massive problem that I found out with TRXs while we were out playing out in the sand was the reverse, or the lack of reverse, or lack of power in reverse. And since I found this out, I've seen a couple of posts on the Ram TRX 1500, that's the large Facebook group, that kind of have almost depicted this thing almost identically. I believe the guy was stuck in mud trying to back up and the truck wouldn't back up. And he was asking a question on why the truck wouldn't back up. I had this exact same scenario happen to not just one TRX, but two TRXs. Like I said, we were out filming for not my channel, but a cool opportunity I got to be in, the Motor Trend TV show, Car Issues with Tyler Hoover. He is, on multiple seasons now. So if you watch Motor Trend and you watch Car Issues with Tyler Hoover, you will see the big white TRX, yours truly. No, I didn't have any speaking parts in that specific, day, but you'll see the big TRX doing a little bit of pulling on a sand dune, which kind of brings up what I was going to be talking about. I can kind of throw some clips in here so it's not just me blabbering on, but I had my truck, Tyler had his truck for the show, and then the production guy, a very good buddy of mine, had his 21 black TRX. He's got a cool bed rack with all of his production gear, camera gear, all the stuff in the back. So he's got quite a bit of weight in that truck. He was carrying some speed up one of the sand dunes, stopped, and then tried to start taking off again. And that's when he got himself pretty darn buried. But typically you're able to throw it in reverse and back up. We had radios. I saw what he was doing and I said, hey, just throw it in reverse. You should be able to back up. And he said, I am. It's doing nothing. And I kind of wondered to myself, 700 horsepower truck should be able to absolutely blow the tires off going backwards just like they do forwards. So I drove over to him and was watching him and said, okay, put the truck in reverse and hit the gas. He hit the gas and you heard the truck just kind of, load up, and the tires didn't turn 1 inch. And which got me thinking, oh, okay, the electronic parking brake, he must have opened the door. He must have done something to cause the electronic parking brake to come on, and the brakes are being held. Obviously, that's what's going on. Told him to put it in park, put the parking brake off, put it back in reverse, and hit it again. So he proceeded to do that, hit the throttle, put it on the floor, and the truck just, again, loaded up. Tires didn't turn, and absolutely nothing happened. So at that point, I'm going, wow, what is bound up? What's stuck? So at that point, I told him, put it in neutral, put the truck in 4-wheel drive low, and go back to reverse. Again, he did this. Put it in 4 low, hit the throttle, the truck immediately jumped out of the hole and backed its way down. So again, it seemed very weird. I was kind of wondering what is going on. Later in the day, I was trying to tow another vehicle and, was trying to get momentum going forward, and digging myself in while, hooked to a tow strap, trying to pull somebody. and needed to back up myself after partially digging in, put the truck in reverse. It was in Baja mode, rear axle locked, everything that it should have been, put my foot on the floor. And again, this truck did the exact same thing where it just brought the RPMs up and never even tried to turn the tires. It felt like 100 horsepower and it could not turn the tires. So again, went to neutral, put it in 4-low, put it in reverse. It immediately had power and could back itself up out of that sand. In this case, it was deep sand. Again, this would be the very similar situation if you were in mud and needing to back up. Okay, so that's kind of when I found out, wow, these trucks have a limited throttle or limited RPM in reverse, which is kind of detrimental if you're in an off-road situation needing to back up. Again, later in the day, we had another truck stuck up on top of a sand dune. He was buried, sitting on the frame, and needed to be pulled off. The issue was I either needed to drive forward up the sand dune and pull him backwards, which I knew wasn't going to work because we have no throttle in reverse, or I needed to back up the sand dune at a quick rate of speed so I could carry enough momentum, again, up backwards to get the tow strap hooked up and pull him down. But I also couldn't back up at any sort of speed or power up the sand dune because of our limited throttle. I was able just to take a long running start in reverse and foot on the floor, but again, limited throttle, and back up, luckily far enough up the sand dune, get the strap hooked, and get that truck pulled off. So what the moral of the story here is, we do not have hardly any power, any throttle in reverse. If you find yourself in a sticky situation, you will need to go to 4-low, put that truck back in reverse, and get it moving backwards. Because if there is any load on the tires, it will not go into reverse, or it will go into reverse, but it will not turn the tires. Now, both of these trucks were 21s. Obviously, this is just a programming issue or a programming feature. They're trying to protect the truck, the transmission, the axles in reverse specifically, or they don't want somebody backing a 700 horsepower truck up at, breakneck speeds. And I totally understand that. But in these situations, you absolutely need more throttle or more RPM than whatever we are limited to. Now, maybe it's only a 21 thing because we did not have a 22 there to, compare to or test this exact same situation. But I have a very strong suspicion that the 22s are exactly the same with reverse. Maybe if you guys have a 22 and happen to have already had it stuck in the sand or, in mud or something, you'll be able to chime in and say, hey, yes, my truck does it too. Now, the first time this truck was out in the sand dunes, I of course got it stuck. Also, I'll throw a clip here. We are literally perched up on a 70-foot sand dune with not a single vehicle side by side, anybody in sight. Buddy and I were literally trying to hand dig the truck out before luckily we had a side-by-side pull-up was able to tow strap us down. In that situation, again, the truck was sitting on the frame, the tires were hanging, we had reverse, we had forward, but we weren't bogged down. So I had no idea this issue even was a thing. What can we do to fix it? I have no idea. I'm sure an aftermarket tuner company could go in there, or anybody competent with tuning a TRX could go in there and find where that reverse is limited and, change the RPM or the throttle limit or whatever. But if you tune a Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Hellcat powered vehicle, you of course get the aftermarket tune detected code that gets set in the computer, and then you have no warranty. And that's not a great thing if you are a bone stock truck that is just trying to be able to get yourself unstuck. So I don't know what we can do. Will there be a future software update that fixes this? I highly doubt it. How is Chrysler even knowing that this is an issue that needs to be taken care of? So yeah, just kind of a word of caution. If you find yourself in a situation where your TRX is buried, stuck in the mud, stuck in the sand, and you can't proceed forward and you need to back up, you probably will not have any tire spin. You're going to need to put that truck in 4-low, throw it in reverse, and be able to at least move at a slower wheel speed, but at least they're going to be turning. So yes, sorry this was a kind of boring standing in the garage talking to you video. I'm going to throw a couple, the footage of the truck jumping just because it was so epic and cool. And then I'll throw a little in truck video. I actually had my good buddy Elliot Alvis riding with me, and Tyler Hoover riding in the truck when we were out jumping. It was a cool day none the least. So yeah, I don't know. If you guys find yourself stuck, throw it in 4-low and at least be able to get the truck moving. But at least hopefully watching this, you will be informed and be able to more quickly get the truck moving. So guys, thanks as always for watching, and we are creeping up on 10,000 subscribers. What a cool thing. I know that's an absolutely little nothing number in the world of YouTube, but I don't know. I appreciate you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Do that again, I'll go stand at the most spot, okay?